Hey friends, welcome back to another practice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's class is going to be slow, mellow, a little bit fluid. Perfect for if you're doing this for your morning routine, just to wake up the body, wake up the breath, but you can also do this at any time of the day and it will absolutely make you feel better. We are going to start on our backs today. So draw me down on your mat and then start to lay down along the spine. Starting to close down the eyes, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyebrows. Especially if we've just woken up, we just want to be really gentle with our body, using this as a transition space to wake up the mind. Often we can go into stimulation instantly, whereas we need that time in the morning or whenever really to prioritize ourselves, to connect with our body, to connect with the deeper parts of ourselves, our heart, our spirit, so that we can enter the rest of our day with a bit more clarity, a bit more intention. We'll just take a couple of breaths here, coming into your practice, landing on your mat. And then when you're ready, just extend your arms wider than the mat. Can you lift your knees over your hips? Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, can you drop both of the knees towards the right side of the mat? Inhale, come back through center. And then as you exhale, drop it towards the left. We'll just try this a couple more times. So today's class is going to be slow, but we're going to move through different asanas bit more flowingly, a little bit more fluidly, especially in the morning. It's more beneficial if we're a bit more dynamic, because our muscles tend to be a little bit more tight, and so bringing some movement, bringing some breath in allows us to just really gently open the muscle. Let's try one more towards the left. Use your next breath in, come back through center. This time we're just going to drop the left knee over towards the right. The right foot is going to tuck behind the glutes. Inhale, come back through center, we swap it out. Exhale, dropping the right knee towards the left. Left knee is still bent. I'm just making this flow, taking the knees wide in between, using the exhale to find that rotation through the thoracic spine. So the bottom knee is directly out from the hips in a straight line along the mat. Also starting to perhaps open through the hip flexors a little bit on that side. Try to keep both of the shoulders on the ground here. If you want a little bit more, you could try extend the top leg long. Maybe your hand might graze towards the foot or the shin. You might kick the heel away and pull the toes towards you so you open through the hamstring a little bit more. Let's try one more time each side. It also feels nice to start to breathe a little bit deeper here. So breathing deeper into the diaphragm, which should feel like the belly expanding, as well as the ribs and the chest. Let's find our way back through center. Bring the feet close towards the hips, hands come down by your sides. We're going to use your next breath in to press through the heels, gently roll up through the spine, Setu Bandhasana. And then as we exhale, just lower down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's try that 2 more times. Inhaling to roll up, pressing through the heels, and then exhaling, rolling yourself down. One more time. And then see if you can bring the soles of the feet together, take the knees wide, Supta Baddha Konasana. Now you can absolutely stay here and just find a bit more of a passive stretch if you wanted to try that same variation but in a bridge pose. Feel free to breathe and press the outer edges of the feet towards the ground as you lift the hips. Probably not as high, keep the knees dropping wide. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift, start with the pelvis, then the lower back, and then maybe some of the mid back. Exhale to come down. So we're opening through the adductors, the inner of the legs, as well as the hips. One more time. Inhale to lift. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, come down. Let's take the feet wide, draw the knees in. Again, you can stay here for more of a passive reset, or if you want to try that bridge pose variation, start by breathing in, lifting through the pelvis, then the lower back, then the mid back, squeeze the knees together. Exhale, roll yourself down. 2 more times. So this is going to feel a little bit different because we're internally rotating our femurs and our hip joints. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Get the backs of the legs slightly and just roll yourself up halfway. We're going to bring the elbows underneath our shoulders. Hands come towards the back of or the front of your mat. Take your feet up slightly and we'll just drop the knees from one side and then to the other side. So our back leg is going to be internally rotating as we drop it over, and then the one that's further away more is externally rotating. Keep pressing out of the elbows, draw the chest up towards the sky. Let's take 1 more breath here. And the next time that you're over towards the right, can you hold here? Start to breathe in, lift through the chest, pivot your right hand around. As you exhale, can you thread your left hand through the right elbow crease? Let's inhale, open the chest, lift the left hand. Exhale to twist. Inhale to open. You might even take the left hand behind you. Exhale to twist. Can you drop the chest a little bit lower? Let's try that 2 more times. So you might feel this along the front line of the body, through the biceps, through the chest, through the thoracic spine, and then come back through center. Let's change it to the other side. So knees drop over towards the left. Breathe in, start to turn the left hand away as you turn the chest towards the left. Exhale, drop the chest down through the right hand towards the left. Inhale, open the arm, draw the right hip back slightly. Exhale to twist. So you also might feel this in the hip flexor of the right leg. Depends on where you just may feel a little bit tighter in the body today. Let's try about 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, just coming back through center, let's press ourselves up onto our sit bones. As I extend both of the legs out forward, I'm getting a lot of grass on my legs. Soften the knees here if you need. You can always sit up onto a pillow. Big breath in, try lift up tall. Exhale, see if you can tip from the pelvis. Keep the spine as long as you can, for as long as you can. And then when you're ready, when you can't tip forward anymore, try draw the chin towards the chest. It's likely that this may feel quite tight if you haven't done that much moving today. We'll make this a bit more of a passive stretch. So we're inhaling, trying to extend our spine, lift up tall a little bit more, and then as we exhale, soften and deepen into our Paschimottanasana. Maybe we tuck the chest in a little bit more, chin towards the chest. If the hands come around the outside of the feet, or maybe your peace fingers can come around the big toes, maybe you use a gentle grasp to help encourage the chest forward. We're not trying to force ourselves in there though. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And find your way back through center. Let's cross our legs into a Sukhasana, a cross-legged position. But I would encourage you to take the leg that feels a little bit more uncomfortable forward. Okay, let's take a big breath in to lift up tall. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades back. Maybe the hands come around the top of the knees. We'll just start to take some circles with the ribs and the spine here. Trying to make the circles as big or as small as feels good. Maybe you start to include some head movements as well. Maybe some shoulder movements. This is a great exercise just to tune in with your body, tune in with your breath, to let go of any external pressures that you may be feeling to perform a certain way, and just let the movement come from within. This is also really great for digestion. All of our twists are really great. All of our forward bends are so good for just stimulating the internal organs, which means that, yeah, we can just better digest our foods a little bit better. Take one more breath here. When you're ready, just come back through a neutral spine. Can you breathe in, lift up tall? As you exhale, backstroke your right hand behind you, so you're twisting towards the right. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale to twist. Inhale, back through center. A couple more times in your own breath. You can use the pressure of the left hand on the left shin to help you turn around. And then when you're ready, we'll just swap it to the other side. And especially if you're heading into a day where you may be sitting down, or you're in a day where you may be sitting down, twisting the spine, using all the different ways of moving it is just it just feels so good. Not just for the body, but just feeling that energetic release as well. Let's try one more breath. And then when you're ready, just come back through center. We'll roll ourselves up, come into a tabletop position. As you inhale, can you drop the belly, lift the eye gaze, pull the shoulders down the spine. As you exhale, press away from the ground. Press and draw the belly button in. A couple more times through your cat and cows in your own time. Again, feel free to add on movement here. Maybe shifting the ribs to one side, but looking away in the other direction. So you're moving more laterally, opening through the side bodies. And then when you're ready, just come back through center. Let's extend the right leg out towards our side. Turn the right toes forward if we can, and press the outer edge of the right foot down. Now you might just stay here, or you can shift the weight forward and back slightly. This might feel quite strong. This is a very big opener for our adductors and our hamstrings. So you can bend your right knee a little bit if you need. We're trying to keep our pelvis in neutral as much as we can. So as we tip back we're going to find a posterior tilt which rounds our lower back. So only just move as much as you can forward and back while keeping the lower back in neutral. Option here, if you wanted to, is to tuck onto the left toes. Open through the backs of the feet. Let's try one more breath here. And then when you're ready, just coming back through center, let's slide the right leg towards the right hand and lift yourself up so we're in a kneeling lunge position. Shift the weight forward slightly. Take a big breath in. Can you sweep your left hand up and over? As you exhale, maybe a little lean towards the right. You squeeze the glutes here and just tuck the tailbone down slightly so we're tilting the pelvis towards our ribs. So we might take a little shift forward and back. So breathing in to lift and lengthen. As you exhale, maybe a little shift forward. You can always have the right elbow down towards your thigh. If you had something to hold on to, maybe a wall or a block or a chair or something, you can have that over there as well. So big opener for the left hip flexor and the femoral nerve that runs through this part of the body. Let's try one more breath here. Come back through center. Take the hands around the leg, around the front leg, and just shift yourself forward and back slightly. You might start with the toe pointed to begin with. Again, making a little bit more dynamic movement. Of course, if more still movement feels better for you this morning and you want to take that time to deepen that way, please feel free to. This is your practice. If you feel ready to, as you shift back, you could try lift up the right toes. And that's just going to unlock a little bit more through the calf muscle down the back of the leg. Try 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready to shift yourself forward, plant the hands wide, step your right knee back so you're in a kneeling plank. Big breath in as you shift the weight forward. Then you start to drop the hips towards the ground by squeezing the glutes. Keep the chest lifted, then tuck the elbows in and come back to your belly. Breathe in, press through the hands onto your knees as you exhale, Balasana. Hips go back over the heels, extend the arms forward. Big stretch through the shoulders, upper body. When you're ready, just come back through center. Tabletop position, then extend the left leg out towards the side. Draw the left toes forward, and then start to take a little shift from forward and back. It's also very easy for our left hip bone to come up here. So as we feel more comfortable, think about pulling the left side of our pelvis down slightly. If you wanted a little bit more, you could tuck onto the right toes to open through the backs of the right leg. I always find when I wake up that my feet, they can feel pretty tight. And so pressing through the left foot here will also help to unlock through the ankles, the side of the leg. Let's try one more breath here. When you're ready, come back through center. Take the left foot around to the outside of the left hand and start to lift yourself up. So we're in our kneeling lunge position. Again, try pull the pelvis forward slightly so we're tucking it under, squeezing the glutes. If you want, you can breathe in, sweep the right hand high, and then as you exhale, take a little shift forward and back. So inhaling to come back, exhaling to drop yourself forward a little bit. If it feels better to stay still, again, please do. Also opening up through the right obliques and the intercostal muscles a little bit here. The further that you lean over towards the left, the more that you'll feel this in that area of the body. The intercostal muscles being the muscles that join each rib together, which allow us to inhale and exhale. Let's try one more breath here. Let's bring the hands towards the ground, lengthen the left leg forward. Again, you might start with the toes being a little bit more pointed. Make sure you're not locking out the leg here. Maybe a little shift forward and back. You might fold the head over as you lean back, and then as you feel ready, you might start to lift up the left toes as well. One more breath. And when you're ready, just bring both hands forward. This time we're going to tuck onto the right toes, set the right foot outside the right hand, Malasana squat. Final few asanas for our practice. So we're trying to bring the heels in slightly, toes out slightly, squeeze the glutes and see if you can press your elbows out. So the knees out with the elbows. Your heels might be off the ground here, and that's totally okay. Maybe you shift side to side, lifting one heel up and then lifting the other heel up. Our Malasana squat is one of, well, my most favorite asanas. It's such a great way to find deep flexion, deep motion within the hip joints, the knee joints, and I think that a lot of us can benefit from practicing this asana a little bit more, as well as finding a bit of relief through the lower back. When you're ready, let's bring the hands towards the ground, lift up the hips, start to walk the feet underneath the hip bones. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Bring the hands towards the shins, breathe in, lift yourself halfway. And as you exhale, fold yourself forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. We'll just flow through that 2 more times and then we'll finish our practice. So inhaling, exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulders down the spine. Exhale. Last time. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. Inhaling, saluting the sun. Exhaling, finding that deepness within ourselves. Inhaling, lifting halfway. Exhale to fold. Last time. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Maybe hands at heart center, maybe hands by the sides. Let's finish with 3 big breaths in through the nose. Maybe exhale out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Last time. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, release. Maybe a moment of gratitude for yourself for turning up to this practice, for bringing a time of pause, a time of just being with yourself before the day begins, or bringing some time in sometime during the day. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you do have any questions, any requests, I would love to hear them in the comments below. And if you found this video beneficial, it would be amazing if you could share this with someone who you may find will enjoy it as well. Thank you again. I'll see you next time.